Hi, welcome to this edition of the Common Sense Defense Podcast. My name is Ptolemy Pruden, your host. Today we're going to be talking about AUKUS Pillar 2. AUKUS is Australia, United Kingdom, United States security trifecta. And we're going to be talking about how the security dialogue that we have between the United Kingdom and Australia and the United States, how we all work together in that dialogue, and how a trilateral agreement will help us to streamline R&D, AI, quantum computing, all those different types of things, so that we are leveraging our capabilities. So, Pillar 2 is two pillars to the AUKUS agreement. As we stated before, Pillar 1 is for the submarines and the rollout of submarines, nuclear submarines to the Australian defense structure, and the second one is the innovation and technology that we bring to the table, cutting edge technologies that we can leverage our capabilities together to get a better product for deterrence. So I want to talk through each one of those, some of those components on a very large scale and kind of talk through those. So the first one we want to talk about is AI and cyber. And so with AI and cyber capabilities, you have to look at just the trends and how things are moving globally to realize, we're no longer in, a chat GPT world or a world where that's just one component. Now there's lots of different types of capabilities being rolled out, and civilian and militarily. And so I personally, I want to look at the AI as it relates to the military. Um, so we have a term called JADC2 that we have been developing for the last 2 to 3 years, and we're projected to continue to roll that out. But JADC2 is a joint all domain command and control, and so that is a capability that we have where you are able to use computer technology, machine learning, AI algorithm, AI capability to see where a missile launched from or aircraft launched from, what it's currently doing, and then also developing a counter to it, and that platform being intercepted or destroyed autonomously. And so the man in the loop is the most important part, as we all know. But what ends up happening is you look at a situation where you have a manned command center with an autonomous strike attack capability, and the manned command center gives a go or a thumbs up, and then that target gets destroyed. So you've merged that with the ability to reach out and touch your adversary, meaning sensor to shooter. So you're able to detect a target, and you're able to send a missile downrange or a bullet downrange or a shell downrange to strike that platform that you have sensed or saw on a screen or through a sensor, and you destroy it. But the whole command structure is autonomous, with the man in the loop giving the thumbs up for the system to go, and then the system does its stuff really, really quick. And that's what the JADC2 program does. It's very similar to the NIFCA-CA, that's the Naval Integrated Fire Control, Naval Integrated Fire Control Counter Air System that the Navy developed maybe almost 10 years ago now. And the NIFCA system saw a missile, and it says, "Oh, we see a missile, and let me detect this missile with a drone. Let me detect this missile with a E-2D or F-35C or F-35, yeah, C or F-35B or F-35A, any platform that can detect it, send it off, and it can send a missile there off board." So JADC2 just takes that to the next level and integrates any capability that can sense weapon inbound. And so what you're looking at is a fusion capability that we now have, that you can sense something from anywhere in a region, and you can defend or strike that target that you're sensing from anywhere in the region. And you also can send the command signal from anywhere in the region. as long as the authentication is there, you can send a command signal to intercept anything that you see from anywhere in the region, as long as you have connectivity and authorization. So in that system of counter battery fire, anti-air fire, anti-ship fire, anti-surface fire, anti-ant, doesn't matter what, you have the ability to send a missile or weapon to that target. So when you automate the platform and you make it where it can think before it can act, that's where automation helps. Now, you say, oh, you give the capability to the machines, we're going to all die. Well, no, not necessarily. If your adversary has the same capability, so you're in a war of race for time, meaning what can they do before they can do it to you? You've got to be able to do it to them. So we have to have the ability to use AI to engage in combat just from a survival perspective of our forces on the front line. Now, when we look at JADC2 and Australia and adding other friends and allies, United Kingdom, all the different friends that we work with, Japan, you want to have that capability that anyone in your friends group can defend themselves and help defend you in that time. So you have to hand off authorization, partner authorization, to our friends and our allies, and that's what kind of collaboration we're doing in Pillar 2 with the Australians. And also, in some regards, we've changed some of our rulings, our decision-making processes and rules in dealing with Japan's defense infrastructure, that we can work with them seamlessly. So everyone is moving towards a process where we can work with our friends and allies quicker and faster and more effectively and with more lethality. So that's what we're doing with the second pillar as it relates to Australia, so that we can work with AI and cyber capabilities, so that we can be in a situation where Australia is a partner that is not left out, but a partner that is front and center with us in dealing with whatever strategy, and also so they understand what threats are out there. We currently have the system called, as you pretty much everybody knows, is Five Eyes. Five Eyes is an intelligence sharing group. It's United Kingdom, Canada, United States, Australia, and New Zealand. Five Eyes, 5 countries. And for decades, they've shared intelligence information where everybody knows what's going on globally. So look at the second pillar is the military and hard kill capability of like Five Eyes. It's like the ability to not only be able to understand what's going on, it's just also the ability to defend any one of those countries or any one of the countries that you add to that system. It's the ability to work together seamlessly to provide a defense structure and defense capability if the need arises. Everybody has their own sovereignty, their own autonomy, but if the need arises and you have to do your Article 5 or some type of defense capability mechanism, that capability is there for you to merge your systems and operations so that we can work together as a team. All right, so that's what the next generation of AI is, and cyber capability. Well, AI first that's the next generation of AI for where the United States and Australia is currently working out of, and that's really important that we are able to do that. Now, cyber. So when you're dealing with a cyber attack, let's look at cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is the ability for your platforms to work effectively, efficiently, and not be threatened by your adversary through whatever means they may throw at you to prevent you from working effectively. In a combat scenario, they're going to be throwing their best equipment, their best material, the stuff that's been sitting on the shelf for 4 or 5 years or has been sitting dormant, waiting to go. And so when you have the first second to 5 or 30 seconds of a conflict, you're going to be dealing with most of all the crazy cyber attacks that you could have ever imagined from an adversary, particularly if they were the originators or the instigators of an attack. When the Russians attacked anybody, you would always notice the very first thing they would do is a cyber attack, electronic media attack, attack on the information infrastructure of any nation. That's just a normal modus operandi for Russia. That's the normal modus operandi for any 21st century nation. Is you do a cyber attack first to see how you can throw your enemy off so that they can't see or hear or understand what's going on or are confused. Every bit of latency that they make in their decision making process, you can take that advantage, and you can disrupt or destroy them. So if we in the future have a conflict with China and they started, do not think for a second that they're not going to throw their best cyber attack against us as possible. And also any back doors that they have in a JADC2 system, which you hope that they don't, any type of control, any type of system they have that's been sitting dormant, that they've been waiting to use that, then they will. This commander is there, and he sees all things going on, and he or she sees these things going on, and so, let's do this, let's do that. All of a sudden, everything goes black. Well, what happened? Well, you got attacked from a cyber dormant thing that's been sitting there, and it just made your system go black. So that's what you don't want to happen. No one wants it to happen. But to prepare for that, you have to have the capability to know what's out there and have counter cyber attacks and even dormant, dangerous AI capabilities. So that's in the future. An AI attack on your AI, a counter AI attack. All those different types of capabilities are there that you need to protect from. And so having all of your infrastructure secure so that you won't be attacked either through AI or cyber attack, any type of thing like that. So that's the type of thing that we're working with the Australians with, and with the British, the United Kingdom with as well, so that we can collectively leverage our capabilities to stand up against cyber attacks. Now, that's before we even start talking about quantum computing. Quantum computing, imagine the ability to hack the ability to be able to hack a cyber system so much more easier because you're using quantum technology. The dynamics for cybersecurity just changed dramatically. So you need every brain every friendly brain that you can get working on these processes and these problems, so that when that time comes, you're not caught out there. So your AI can be attacked. Your cyber capabilities can be attacked. Quantum is you need to stay ahead of the field using your quantum capabilities so that you don't get sidestepped, so you don't get inundated by attacks. So all these tools collectively work together to attack you. So you have to have a defense against all those things. So that's kind of how we're looking at working with Australia, working with the UK, and working with Japan. All of our friends and allies around the world, we should be working with so that we can have systems in place so that we can protect our network and protect our operations so that in critical moments we don't lose it. It's just very similar. Here's a good example. If your GPS gets knocked out in the first few minutes of warfare, you got to keep operating. So you have to be able to work effectively in a non-GPS enabled environment. And so you're looking at all these different types of things that you have to be able to predict before they happen, so that your team and the friendlies are secure. And so those are the things that you only can grow by leveraging your joint capability, leveraging your research and development dollars, so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel over and over again. You're actually able to leverage each other's strengths so that you can have a securer future. And all of these things, you want to be proficient in them so that you can have a viable deterrent. You don't want to be in a situation where you have to use these things. If your deterrent is strong, your adversary will not want to go to war with you. That's the whole point. So if we can help Australia be the strongest that they can possibly be, fiscally, and not wasting money and helping them, if we can work with the United Kingdom and helping them to be as efficient as possible, and everybody can work with us so that we're not spending $1 trillion and $1.5 trillion and $1.3 trillion, every year on the national defense, we can use that money for something else and not have to spend it all on defense. And so we have to look at a future where we can see ourselves moving up to the next level and out and creating more infrastructure so that we can expand innovation and technology and opportunity globally and out into space. That's the type of future we need to be looking at. Well, not one that we just stay here and just keep spending trillions upon trillions of dollars on national defense. No, we have to enable all of our defense industry so that they can have the capability to not only do defense things, but they can do aerospace things and space-based things so that they can get there as well. But that's another conversation another time. But that's where we are. We're in a very exciting future. We appreciate you. Look forward to you talking to us the next time.